Hello and welcome. Today we're gonna read about tuples, but before I teach you tuples, I need to mention something I forgot to mention in the last lecture, and that is lists can have different elements in it, like different types of elements. For example, it can contain an integer, it can contain a string, it can contain a boolean. It doesn't have to be homogeneous, okay? So just this one thing I want you to remember. Okay, so the next thing we're going to read about is tuples, and it's written as this, and it's pronounced as tuples, not tuples, not anything else. Tuples, like how you pronounce couple, but with a T. Okay, so to define a tuple, we're going to use parentheses. So this is how we use tuples, and it also can have different types of elements in it. Okay, in case you're wondering. Okay, let's see. So what are tuples? You can think of tuples as the lists that are immutable. Okay, so I'm going to teach all the operations on the tuples. Uh, I'm going to go through it really quickly because it's same as lists. There's literally no difference in it. Okay, so but since tuple is immutable, you cannot do this. You cannot do this. Okay, does not support item assignment. You cannot do this in tuple. Okay, you can do this, you can get the value of the tuple like this, but you cannot assign it. Okay, so that is the basic difference between the tuples and the lists. Okay, so I'm gonna do it in single program. Just remember, tuples cannot be edited, so you cannot use all the functions like append or others with the tuples because it changes the tuple. But you can still slice tuples, and let's see how it's done. You can do the slicing operations and stuff. You remember, you cannot save the value. It does not change the value of the tuple. It just gets the value. Okay, so if I say this, I get 0 to 2 elements. Okay, that does not mean that my tuple now only contains 1 and 2. It just means I'm getting 1 and 2. Okay, we can also reverse it in the same way. Like lists. Okay, we can use this in the same way as lists. Okay, we can also have different types of elements, as I mentioned already in a tuple. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what you need to learn about tuples. And there are not gonna be much uses of the tuples, but it's good to know about it. And now we're gonna move on to dictionaries. Okay, so as if you remember from the earlier lectures, I already said that dictionaries are key value pairs. Okay, let's see what does that mean. What does key value pair mean? Okay, so how we define a dictionary is dic is a keyword, so don't use that. But how we do it is we use these brackets and we pass key, then the value of the key. Okay, this I'm just gonna write value. And now we can have another one. Say this says key 2 and value 2. So we can have as many as we want, as many key value pairs as we want. Okay, let's run this. Okay, so what thing about this dictionaries you need to remember is that only key could be mutable. Okay, you cannot change the values, you can change the keys. Okay, so let's see what does that mean. says key is not defined because the key we're using is of string, so this returns the value. Okay, let's run it. One thing you need to remember about the dictionary is that you cannot change the value of the keys. Okay, you can only change the value here. Okay, so these keys work as indexes. Okay, so what does that mean? What do I mean when I say these work as indexes? So if you remember, when we need to get the value from a list, we pass the index here. Okay, in between the square brackets. What we're going to pass in case of dictionary is the key. The key is not defined because the key I'm using is string. Okay. So you get the value. Yeah, that's how it works. I hope this is clear to you. And to traverse a dictionary is a little different. Let's see how it is different. Okay, I'm sorry I had to edit because I forgot to write I here, and then I did a typo when I was hitting enter. So I edited out that part, but I'm gonna go ahead. I hope I don't commit some silly mistake now. Okay, so you can see it's returning my keys, but I need the values. In most cases you'll need the values. So how do I do it? Okay, so to get the value, it's pretty simple. You just get the keys, and then when you need to access the value, you just do it from the keys. Okay, so you push keys value here, and then you'll get the values. Pretty simple, right? So what if I want to see all the keys in the dictionary? Okay, so there is one inbuilt function called keys. Pretty sweet, isn't it? So in this way you can get all the values of the keys, and in the same way if you want to get all the value in this way you get the keys. Okay, so I'm sorry, that was a slip of tongue. So if you want to get the values, you can simply use the values function. It will return you all the values. Okay, so empty dictionaries can be created in the same way as we created empty lists. You can just do let me make a D, and you can do this. You can do this, and it's gonna create an empty dictionary. See, or you can also do this. You can also do this, and it's also gonna create an empty dictionary. Okay? So if you want to add an element to the dictionary, you simply go. Let's add it to the newly created dictionary. So you here pass in the key. I'm gonna pass one as the key, and you pass the value here. So what I want to save is first element. I'm gonna say it first element. Okay. See, we have created a dictionary with the key 1 and the value first element. Okay. Also, if you want to delete an element, you can simply use the delete keyword. So you go delete D, and then you pass the key, and it deletes it. Okay, you can also use the pop method in the same way you used it earlier. So let's see what it means. Okay, so what's happening here? The thing is, when we use pop with the dictionary, we also need to pass the key of the element we want to pop. Okay, so say I want to pop the key 1, not the key 2. It's called on the key. Okay, I want to pop first element, so I'm gonna do this, and at my dictionary here it has only one key value pair. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. So the advantage you get by using pop is it can let you display the message you want. If you want an element, if you want so for example, you're trying to delete something which is not there, for example key 3 in this dictionary. Okay, so if I'm using delete keyword, okay, So for example, I'm using delete keyword. It gives me an error, right? It gives me an ugly error. What I can do instead is I can use the pop function. So I'm going to do the same thing with the pop. The key I want to delete is key 3, which does not exist. But what I can do here is I can pass another argument, which is the message I want to display if the key is not found. So I'm going to display a pretty message that says key not found. Okay. So this says key not found. And if the key is there, it's just going to delete. Okay. So that is the advantage of using pop over delete. Okay. Now to merge two dictionaries, you can use update method. Let's see how that works. So I'm gonna take our dictionary D and again gonna add few elements in it. Okay, right. So what if I want to merge my dictionary and my D? Okay, so what you do is you use the update method. You simply go dictionary dot update and then you pass in D as an argument. Now dictionary got updated with the values of the other dictionary. Okay. So next we're gonna read about functions, but that is gonna be in another lectures and we'll dive much deeper in the language. This was the basic data handling, and I think this much is sufficient right now for the basic course. Okay. So that is it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Do let me know in the comments if you like the video, and do write to me on different platforms so I could connect better with you. Okay. Thank you all for watching.